At Carterhaugh, in the old wood by the Yarrow Water, there is a well. A young woman should not go there. The fairies keep that wood, and they take a toll from any maiden who walks under those trees alone. Janet went anyway. She was the laird's daughter, and she had been told, since she was a small girl, that under those oaks there were creatures who were neither dead nor living, neither kind nor cruel, and that they took what they wanted from any girl who walked there. She was 19. One morning in October, she laced up a kirtle of plain green wool, the color of the wood, so that the wood would not see her coming. She slipped out through the side gate at first light. This is the story of one young woman who went into a wood she had been warned not to enter, and of how, on Halloween night, she had to hold a thing in her arms that became a snake, and a bear, and a lion, and a bar of red-hot iron, and a burning coal. This is the story of how she did not let go. Carterhaugh in October was deep and quiet and the color of old gold. Janet walked under the high oaks, and the path went on much longer than it should have done before she came out into the clearing where the well stood. The well was a low ring of dark stone. Beside it grew a tall double rose, the petals as red as fresh blood. She knelt. She picked the rose. At her elbow, a quiet voice said, "Why have you come to my well, lady? And why have you broken my rose?" Beside her in the clearing stood a young man. He had not been there a moment before. He wore a hunting tunic of plain green wool. His hair was dark. His eyes were gray. He could not have been more than 20, and he was a mortal man. "Who are you?" Janet said. "How long have you been in this wood, that no one in my father's hall has ever spoken your name?" "My name is Tam Lin," the young man said. "The queen of the fairies keeps me. I cannot leave the wood." Janet did not run. She stayed at the well until the sun went down. When she went back through the wood at dusk, she went alone. But she had told him that she would come back. By the next moon, Janet was with child. The hall at her father's house in winter was warm with rush fires and lit by tall candles. Her father, an old fair-spoken laird who loved his only daughter, said to her one evening, "Daughter, you have grown quiet in this house. If there is a thing on your mind, tell me." Janet looked at her father across the long table. She told him part of it. "Father," she said, "the father of my child is no man of this country. He is held by another, and I do not yet know if he can be brought home." Her father did not press her. He said, "If he can be brought home, daughter, you will know how to do it. And if he cannot, this hall is your hall, and the child will be born here, and the child will be kept." Janet kissed her father's hand. In the morning, before anyone in the hall was awake, she laced up the green kirtle again, and she went back through the side gate. Carterhaugh in late autumn was a darker wood than Carterhaugh in October. The leaves were almost down. The mist lay low. The double rose was gone. Tam Lin stood waiting beside the dark stone of the well as though he had known she would come back. "Tam Lin," she said, "I have come for you." He told her his own story then, sitting on the cold stone of the well edge. He had been a mortal boy once, the son of a border knight. He had been out on the heath with his uncle's hawk when his horse had stumbled at the foot of a green mound. He had fallen. The queen of the fairies had been riding past in the silver mist, and she had taken him up onto her own saddle and carried him into the wood. He had been in the wood ever since. The years passed differently inside the green mound. And tonight, he said, is Halloween. Tonight at midnight, the queen rides past this very well with her whole court behind her. Every 7 years, the fairies pay a tithe to hell. This Halloween, the tithe is to be me. If you do not pull me from her court tonight, you will not see me again. Janet did not turn away. "Then tell me how," she said. Tam Lin took her hand. He spoke carefully because there would be no time tonight for any of it to be said twice. At midnight, he said, "The queen and her court will ride past this well in a long line. There will be 3 riders that come last. The first will be on a black horse. Let him pass. The second will be on a brown horse. Let him pass. The third rider, the one at the very back, will be on a milk-white horse. That rider will be me. Pull me down from the saddle into your arms and do not let go." She nodded. "When you have me on the ground," he said, "the queen will not let me go easily. In your arms I will become a snake. You must hold the snake. I will become a bear. You must hold the bear. I will become a lion. You must hold the lion. I will become a bar of red-hot iron, and the iron will burn your hands. You must hold the iron. And last of all, I will become a burning coal." He looked at her then. His gray eyes were very steady. "When I am a coal in your hands," he said, "cast me into the cold water of this well. And from the well I will rise a naked man, and you must cover me at once with your own green cloak. From that moment I will be yours." "Do you understand?" Janet said. "I understand." She went back to her father's hall. She did not eat the evening meal. She took the green cloak from the press. In the dusk, she walked back, alone, into the wood at Carterhaugh. It was very cold in the wood at midnight on Hallowe'en. The mist was on the ground and the moon was high, and the well was a dark mouth in the silver grass. Janet stood beside it in her green cloak with the hood down. She heard them before she saw them. She heard the silver bells and the manes of the fairy horses, and the soft tread of hooves that did not break the moss they walked on, and the low voice of the queen far back in the train, speaking in a language Janet did not know. The mist parted. The court came past the well in a long, bright line, 2 by 2 in silver and old gold, their faces too still and too beautiful, their horses too tall. Janet did not move. She let them pass. At the back of the line came the 3 Tam Lin had told her of. A black horse. A brown horse. And then the milk-white horse, and on it a young man in plain green, the dark hair, the gray eyes, watching her without turning his head as he rode past. She stepped out of the mist. She caught the bridle of the milk-white horse. She pulled Tam Lin down into her arms. The queen of the fairies, far up the line, gave one sharp cry. The whole court turned at once. Then it began. In her arms, Tam Lin became a snake, cold and quick and twisting under her hands. She held him. He became a bear, heavy and rough and breathing in her face. She held him. He became a great tawny lion, and the weight of him pulled her down onto her knees, and she held him. He became a bar of red-hot iron, and the iron burned her hands through the cloth of her cloak, and she held it. And last of all, as Tam Lin had told her, he became a burning coal. The coal lay heavy and red in her scorched hands. She turned and she cast it into the dark water of the well. There was a long, quiet moment in which Janet did not breathe. Then, out of the dark water of the well, rose a young man, naked and shivering and human, with the dark hair and the gray eyes she knew. She drew him out into the silver grass. She pulled the green cloak from her own shoulders and wrapped it around him. And from that moment, Tam Lin was hers. For what is taken by the queen is held only by the woman who refuses to let go. The queen of the fairies sat on her tall black mare at the edge of the clearing. She did not move. She looked down at Janet, kneeling in the silver grass with Tam Lin in the green cloak in her arms, and her cold, pale face did not change. She spoke once. And what she said is the line the people of the borders have remembered for 400 years. "Had I known, Tam Lin," said the queen of the fairies, "that a lady would borrow thee from me this night, I would have torn out thy 2 gray eyes, and put in 2 of wood." She turned her black mare. She rode back into the mist with her whole court behind her. The silver bells fell silent, and the wood at Carterhaugh was only a wood again. At dawn, Janet and Tam Lin walked out of the wood together. They did not look back. Some stories, the people on the borders say, are kept by the woman who refused to let go, by a green cloak, by 2 gray eyes, by a well at Carterhaugh that, on Halloween at midnight, you still should not go near. This was Forgotten Fables. Follow the channel when you want the next story the loud world forgot.